GotAUkulele isn't just about production line stuff. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to get something born out of the skills and imagination of just one person. Keep watching. Yes, welcome back to GotAUkulele Review Day. As ever, summary video review for you for the full written review, which is always linked below these videos. Back at the website, you'll get a lot more information. All the other reviews, all my other pages, club directories, things like that there too. Also down below the video, some links where you can help out. This is not a commercially sponsored channel. I don't charge people for reviews. They'd just be adverts in my opinion. So the only reason this keeps going is the kind donations that people come in with every week. My eternal thanks go to those people. If you want to help out, there's some links down there too. I'd be very grateful. And you can also help out by subscribing to the YouTube channel, as I say every week. Hit the bell symbol as well. You'll get notified of new stuff on this channel when it goes live. Okay, yeah, I'm a lucky boy. GotAUkulele tries to cover all bases, the really cheap Amazon stuff, the household brand name stuff, the new stuff that's hitting the market, but also I quite regularly like to look at handmade instruments that are luthier builds, that are built by just sort of one person in a small workshop usually, because often they're actually quite a lot better value than people think they are. This is one of those. This guy, Marcus Sontheimer from Järna near Stockholm in Sweden, got in touch with me. When he sent me some pictures of his instruments, there was no way I was going to say no. And this is the one he sent over. Now, I'm going to make a real pig's ear of my terrible Swedish pronunciation as to the brand name here, because you're reading the brand name in the label of the video, but I believe it's pronounced Brogärde. Brogärde. Sorry, Marcus, if that's terrible. But that's what this is. I'm not going to use that brand name again in the video if I can avoid it. But it's a boat paddle. This is a tenor boat paddle. And this is made from all solid woods. In fact, all of the woods, bar the bridge and the fingerboard on this, are laburnum. Now, I don't know anything about laburnum. I've never played an instrument made of laburnum before, but I looked into it. Sometimes called the false acacia. And it is actually in the same family as acacia and koa. Very sort of yellow and paler though, but really nice interest. Boat paddle style. But now, boat paddles. Usually very simple instruments. Just create a sort of triangle shape, bolt a neck on, and away you go. No bending in the sides, but this one is a little bit more complicated. As you can see, it's not just straight sides or a straight base. It's kind of like a organic sort of teardrop shape to it. But what I'll come on to is when we deal with the neck, which is where it gets really interesting. So we have solid laburnum sides, base, top and back. The top and the back are wonderfully book matched with this sapwood showing down the middle. Everything else pretty nice and stripy grain. I do really like the colour. And as I say, really sort of an organic sort of teardrop shape rather than just a straight-sided boat paddle. I absolutely love the look of it. The bridge is a through body design made of ebony, one of the tidiest finishes I've seen on a bridge for quite some time. Really, really shiny and smooth. I mean, there's just, you know, it really, it's flawless. Fitted in that is a bone saddle with some hand-carved compensation around the top. Decoration, very, very simple and subtle on this one, but this is a luthier instrument, so if you're speccing an instrument from luthier, quite often you can specify if you wanted some decoration. I'm sure he could do it. For this one, I don't think it needs it. What we have is this sort of black edging around the sound hole, which is a real old vintage style thing that they used to do, and I really like that. I prefer it to a rosette, in fact. We have this sort of, again, organic, is that the blossoms of the laburnum tree? Side sound port. But we also get some decoration. I don't think you could class this as decoration, but inside there, you can see a leaf. That is the Brogärde logo. It's a chestnut tree leaf, because there is a chestnut tree growing on the farm, which is where the name comes from, Brogärde, next to his workshop. I love that. That's hand painted, I believe, on a little wooden plate in there. That's just delightful. The whole thing is finished in several coats of true oil, and this is one of the best finished instruments I think I've ever come across. It's absolutely flawless. Deep but not thick. It's just so well polished and smooth and lovely. Inside, no notches to the kerfing, just straight kerfing. Back braces are regular, fan braced on the top, little diamond cleats down on the inside holding the two sides of the back together, which is again an old style thing. Very, very tidy in there, really, really tidy. But where this gets really interesting is this neck arrangement. Now, usually, as I say, you'd build like a triangular frame, bolt or glue or screw a neck on. As far as I can tell, and I may be wrong here, one side of the neck is one piece that curves out and then turns into the thin side, and we have two of those, so there is no neck joint. That just sort of flows organically, so it's a thick neck piece, turns and goes very thin around the sides. Same down this side. A paler wood skunk stripe down the middle holds the two together. That's finished in, again, the same satin. People saw the sneak peek pictures of this and thought that looked chunky. Honestly, when I play it, you wouldn't know it was there because it's very narrow up here, so we can get to these frets. That's no issue. This is just remarkable build. I don't really quite know how he's done it. The back and the top are separate, but the sides are part of the neck. I'm just a bit blown away by it. And the neck tapers down to an average 36mm, 30mm G2A at the nut, but really nice and shallow at the back. Fingerboard. Wow, there's a lot to get through in this one. Fingerboard is ebony. Again, one of the best conditioned pieces of ebony on a fingerboard I've ever seen. As you can see, when it goes over the top of the upper part of the body, there is a gap. It floats here, so it's not connected, which allows the top to do more resonating. It's just nice and smooth and dressed on the edges. It's fitted with, there are 16 frets on this, but one of them is a 0 fret. I'll come on to that in a minute. But so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish to the start of the heel, 12, 13, 14, 15. They are dressed impeccably well. No outward facing position dots, but I don't mind that because we've got dots in the usual places on the sides, which is ones I will look at. But about that 0 fret, what a 0 fret does is hold the string height accurately, and then you normally have a nut behind it to hold the spacing. This has no nut. This is kind of fascinating. What he's done is he's put grooves in directly into the ebony, bit of detailing of these pearl dots here, which holds the spacing. That's a real genius idea. Now, some people will say, well, what about wear and tear? Ebony is as hard as plastic. You know, there's a lot of vintage instruments with ebony nuts and saddles. I've got no issue with that. Probably a bit harder if you wanted to change the string height, but that's really only a problem if the builder doesn't get the setup right. So we'll have a look at the setup. But there we are. This is just genius, I think. The headstock is nice and skinny shape, faced in more laburnum. It's not book matched, so you get that sort of random bit on the side, so it's asymmetric. I'd be nitpicking if I said that was a problem. I like the shape, no logo up there, but I don't mind when you've got things like hand-painted logos inside. The tuners are De Young open gears in black and gold. These are as good quality Grovers. I've got absolutely no complaints with those. He's fitted this with Worth Brown strings, comes with a strap button in the bass, and the price. Luthier instruments. It's really important to say with Luthier instruments, it's just a guide because it depends on the spec, depends what you're asking them to do. If you ask for more decoration, you're going to pay more. If you ask for certain woods, you're going to pay more or less. So it's got, you get a quote. Because they're not quite off the peg. But when I saw the price on this one, I was kind of staggered because this is £599. I thought it'd probably be twice that, actually. Sorry, Marcus. It's an absolute bargain. The amount of work that's gone into this, particularly all this carving down the sides, which I'm still kind of trying to work out in my head how that works. The finish is as good. I've given it a perfect finish score because this is about the best finish ukulele, a fit and finish, I think I've ever seen. It is absolutely flawless in the finish. I love the organic look and shape of it. All solid woods, beautiful fingerboard. It's just beautiful everywhere. $599. Wow, that was quite a lot to get through, wasn't it? But this is really quite different. Right, okay, laburnum, know nothing about it. As I say, is it heavy? No, 635 grams. balances perfectly at the 12th, and it balances this way as well. I don't usually mention that too much, but sometimes you can get instruments dip like this. This doesn't dip either way, perfectly balanced. Really nice to hold, and as I say, despite that heel being sort of that shape, which I think it has to be to hold the sides on, when I get to play it, I can't feel that. Laburnum tone, I know nothing about it, as I keep saying. You kind of look at it and you think it's going to be bright and zingy, because I don't know why I'm saying that, because it reminds me of a kind of a, it doesn't remind me of spruce in the way it looks, but the paleness. But we'll get on to tone in a moment. Maybe it is going to be like acacia. You're getting a bit of a feel of the tone now, aren't you? Right, volume. Absolutely great. Wow. And the sustain. With no effort. There. Really lively instrument. Now, you're hearing the tone there, aren't you? It is on the brighter side. I like woodier instruments, but it's not a one trick, all on the bright side. It's not, got the clarity. It's down the middle with bit on the bass side, bit on the treble side, a little bit more on the treble side, but quite a good breadth of tone, but really rich and shimmery down the middle. That's very much like acacia. Little bit on the brighter side than I would like, but I'm really nitpicking. It's not a problem. Really jangly in the middle. What a lovely neck to play as well. But this is where it really shines, I think. Oh dear. This has just got one of the highest scores I've ever given to a review in 14 years. 14th anniversary today for GotAUkulele. It's the birthday. One of the highest scores ever. I know Marcus was really nervous, as most luthiers are when they send stuff to me. I don't know why he was. There's genius in the build here. There's really clever thought gone into it. The finish, as I say, is flawless. I can't find anything wrong with it. I love the organic look of it. I love things like this. I love things like the little painted symbol in there. I know they don't make sound, but I love them. I love the look. I love every part of it. And then when you get to play it, the volume is just like a real punch. It's so lively, so easy to get sound out of. And it's got a really nice, balanced, down the middle, bit of brightness, yeah, but a really, really crisp, clear tone that is like cut glass. Bit of jangle. Oh God, I really am rambling on this one. Brogärde. Please tell me that's right. I'm not making a fool of myself, Marcus. Brogärde. Boatpaddle Tenor from Järna near Stockholm in Sweden. My first Swedish instrument, I think. Impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. This one is now on its way to GotAUkulele, to World of Ukes in Carlisle, where you will be able to buy it. And I can assure you, if I had the money in the bank, I wouldn't be letting this go to World of Ukes. I'd be buying this. This is one of the most remarkable ukes I've seen for quite some time. Marcus, don't be nervous about what your stuff's like. This is just superb. Absolutely superb. I've loved looking at this. Thank you so much for trusting me with it. Whew, wow, what a review. Thank you, Marcus. Right, okay. Back next week. The run-ins are Christmas now. It's going to be very busy, and then I've got a bit of a Christmas break, so I've got about 3 or 4 more for you this year, I think. Not quite sure what the order is for next week, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Thank you for your ongoing support and watching these videos and helping me out. Much appreciated. Look after yourselves in the week ahead. Be good to each other, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.